Hey guys, it's Joe here, and welcome to Expanding Joy. I am so thrilled that you're back again. And this week we have kind of like part three in what has turned out to be a three-part series. So 3 weeks ago we had just the acknowledgement or recognition of love versus fear and how we can differentiate between the two. And then last week's theme was choosing from love. So knowing when you're in alignment with that feeling, that vibration, that energy of love. And this week we are tuning into how do we create from that space. So welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. And as always, if you're here and you love this content, please, you know what to do. You've been here before. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, all that kind of good stuff that we always say on YouTube. Okay, so let's get right into it, because today I want to talk about, okay, so first of all, it's the just acknowledging. We're going to do a quick kind of recap, but knowing where we are in any moment, recognizing when we're in that place of alignment, when we are connected to our higher self. If this is your human self and this is your higher self, when they're in line, when you are connected to source, you have so much more power. That is where actually all of our power comes from, is that connection to source. It's being in line with who we truly are, not who our human self has made us up to believe. Now, so recognizing that is the first step, always. And then last week we really got into, so how do I even know what I want is in alignment or if it's out of alignment? So if we are asking for things, and what came up in a reading this week that I thought was so interesting was the distinction between desire and want. And how they said desire is a pull. Desire is this connection to source, connection to your higher self. When you're in alignment, you feel this desire. And there is a desire because it is already approved. You've got like the check mark is there, all ready for source to be of service, to help you, to aid you, to work, to go in that direction. When we want something, because it's usually because we think the having of it will make us happy, or we believe that what society has told us, or what maybe our parents or teachers or friends have said we should want. Those wants usually come from fear. Either I'm not going to fit in, I'm not going to be enough. It's like this idea of proving yourself. Like I want this to prove that I'm stable, to prove that I'm successful, I want this to satisfy some want because I'm afraid the lack of it will be lack, basically. So that was really interesting for me. It was like, oh, okay, so there's like this distinction. There could be a distinction between desire and want. And so is it really a desire? Is your higher self in line with what you're asking for? And that's what we explored last week. So those are kind of the first two steps. One, where am I standing? What energy am I being in the moment? Because again, we're a radio tower that is putting out signals all the time and bringing in signals. So what are we putting out? What am I in line with? Then am I actually choosing something or desiring something that is in alignment with my higher self? When I think of something, when I want, and there we go with the word want. So if I was going to say, oh, I'd really like a new job. I really want a new job, or I really want more money. I want some more money. I gotta have more money. Is the request coming from a place of alignment where you feel expansive, or is it coming from a place of fear where you feel constricted? So the minute you know you want something, or you know you desire something, if you put it on your list, then stop for a moment and figure out what energy that is coming from. Where is that taking place? Where is that? What's the catalyst for that? Is that energy expansive or constricting? This week, now from this place, we can move forward into the creation of things. So our higher self is like this we're in co-creation always. We're always in this like um, partnership with spirit. I like that. Yeah, we're in partnership with spirit around creating, because we came here as a human, and this world is a 3D physical world. We are like, yeah. So we want to create things in this world, to have experiences of them, to enjoy them, all of that stuff. And just sometimes it's just the sheer pleasure of knowing that you can follow through and things occur, things happen. It's like, I can make shit happen, you know? Okay, so we're going to start off. And when I started to write about this and kind of do the downloads, the word manifesting came up immediately, of course, around creation, abundance, all that. And for me, it is such a triggering word because it is such a overused buzzword currently that it can be very triggering for some of us. It can be very like, like either I'm lacking because I can't manifest what I want, or I'm not asking to manifest the right things, or somehow I'm just not enough because I can't make the secret work for me. And so it's great for everybody else, but somehow I'm missing out on the secret sauce here. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, no. So we're just going to kind of put that particular word to the side, even though that is what it is. When I ask spirit what manifesting is, they're just basically, it's simple. It's the act of making the unseen into the seen. So everything, every single thing in the physical world was first a thought. So it was unseen and then became manifest into the physical world. That's all it is. Whether it's a circumstance, a song, a chair, a car, whatever, everything was a thought first, which was unseen energy created into the seen energy or experience, sometimes experience. Oh, that's funny because I just got that. They were like, a song, yes, you could write it down, but it's also the experience of it. So experiencing is also a form of manifesting. Okay, so we're going to go, but we're going to try it from a different point, a different angle tonight. Okay, so, and I am reading my notes in case my eyes wander all over the place. So kind of a softer way, a more, for me, what feels like a more fun way. And I will completely admit that it does, what we're going to discuss tonight feels a little, not only woo-woo, but if you're here at this point, you're kind of like woo-woo, welcome to the gang. But it also feels a little vague. And when I asked Spirit or Sam about this, they said, yes, of course it feels vague because it's unseen. And that somehow us humans always try to make things harder than necessary, more difficult and complex. We don't really like the simple route. So they said, just bear with it, try it out. And at the end, we're going to do a couple of journaling prompts where you can really kind of keep track of what's going on in the next week or two with this softer approach, because we're going to manifest, we're going to create, we're going to co-create. I like that better. We're going to co-create from love, from the energy of love, because that's what we've been working for the past 3 weeks. Because so it's not about doing more. I am not going to give you tonight a big checklist. You've had the checklist. Check where you're coming from. What energy are you standing in? Am I asking, is the request that I'm making, did it even occur to me because I'm in love with it, I desire it, or did it come to me out of a fear? That's it. That's it. That's all there is to it. So there's going to be 3 steps. Check where you are, where are you asking from, and then we're going to create from love. So it's not about doing more, but we have all been trained. Somehow if we work harder, think positively, all that kind of good stuff, that we will get the steps and the stuff will occur. So it begins with a beingness, not a doing. And it really, really comes from this standing in, acknowledging that you are being the energy of love. Now, this will feel different for different people. When the perfect example is when I connect to Sam, when I do channeling. And even before I started channeling, kind of consciously channeling, every time I would connect at the beginning of a reading, I always take a deep breath. I close my eyes and I kind of giggle. Like I have this little, and it's funny because new clients are like, what was so funny? And I'm like, it's just the feeling of connection. That's the feeling of connecting to love for me. It's not that same way for everybody else. So notice, the invitation is to notice, what is your telltale sign that you're connected to love? Do you suddenly relax your shoulders? Do you feel light? Just that one breath, you just feel like, oh, I can finally like let go, relax, whatever it is for you. Maybe it's you feel firmly planted. Maybe you feel like so in alignment and just like a tree rooted. Whatever that telltale sign is for you, take note, because you want to know what that is in order to acknowledge when you're there and when you're not, and to be able to recreate it in any moment. So an example kind of is this week I work at a local store. I work at the Oracle. It's fabulous in Seashell. And I was kind of rushed. I got there in a hurry. It was super hot out. I was trying to set up fans. I was a little discombobulated, like kind of off. I was off. Basically, I was off. I was disconnected. And it was very obvious to me that I was disconnected. But then I had a client and I was like, oh, crap. Okay. I mean, I love having a client. It was just that I felt off. So I kind of felt like, oh, am I going to be good at, like, am I going to be worthy of this reading? You know what I mean? And I thought, no, because I know how to connect. It never fails. I sat, I welcomed them. And even just in the act of having them sit in front of me, doing my spiel, and then it was just that deep breath. And in that instant, I was back connected. So it's like muscle memory. Your body will remember, your spirit knows what it's doing. You can reconnect. Okay. So love versus fear. I like this. So your creative origin point. Okay. So every moment we're creating, every single moment. And this was kind of interesting for me. Like spirit was like, when do you think you're not creating? Like we are always vibrating. We're never not vibrating. Never. We're always in a vibration because that is what we are. We are energy, and energy always vibrates, always is in motion, always is energy. Energy can't be destroyed. So we are always creating because energy is always creating. So in every single moment. So we get to choose where we're coming from. Now, one thing that I have loved in the past couple of weeks that has come through from spirit that I have never had in the years before was the power of curiosity. And it has come through a lot in the past couple of weeks. This curiosity is a neutral zone, but also mostly comes from the vibration of love. Now, I do know that sometimes you could be in curiosity and in fear, like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Oh my gosh, like what is going yeah, you can totally be there. So we're calling on the curiosity in the vibration of love. So curiosity has this magnetism, spirit says, but it also keeps generating. It doesn't close doors. It keeps opening doors. It keeps more things are possible. It is the access point to, oh, I love that. It is the access point to all possibility because it's not saying no to anything. It's like brainstorming. When you're actually brainstorming, you never turn down an idea. That's what curiosity allows. It opens the door, that connection to your higher self, and your higher self has access to all possibilities in the world, all possibilities in creation. So curiosity is the doorway to, is the portal to all possibilities. And that is a good thing when you're trying to, when you are in creation, because you want synchronicity to line up in any way possible. You want the universe to be your co creator because the universe has access to everything and anything is possible, right? Okay. So, alignment with source and then being curious like, oh, I wonder how many new clients I'm going to get this week. I wonder how many people are going to watch my YouTube channel. I wonder, like, oh, I am so looking forward to seeing how money is going to surprise me this week as it shows up. Those are access points to possibility because you're in the vibration of love. You're creating from excitement, which is totally in love. And then you're leaving it up to the universe to co-create with you because God, heaven knows what's possible out of all those questions, right? Okay. Kind of like when you're aligned with love, you don't have to try to manifest anything. Synchronicity will show up naturally. So alignment, curiosity, all of that is the big magnet for synchronicity. And we want to be the match for the same that's occurring. So just like Esther Hicks, always like Abraham Hicks, if you've watched them, I mean, that's basically all they talk about is manifesting and law of attraction and all that kind of good stuff, which can be frustrating when you don't quite understand it or it hasn't come to pass. And the part that is missing so often is that key point about what energy am I holding and standing in? What energy am I being while I'm wanting to create, while I want to manifest, while I want to be in collaboration with the universe? Because the universe does not work on words, it works on your vibration. And curiosity, rooted in the vibration of love, is just this huge magnet. So now you're like, you're here, what you want is here. Now the universe is going to use synchronicity to have it all blend together and show up, right? And yes, it feels very far-fetched and slightly vague. I get it. I totally get it. We're working on it. Just wait. So as Michael Neal, one of my favorite authors, says, you are the space in which thought and creation arises. So you're the space. That's the key. Nothing shows up in the physical world without somebody being the creator of it, being the magnet for it, being the catalyst for it, allowing it to come through. Source isn't looking down on the world going, oh, I think they need this type of house or this kind of car or this type of chair. No, humans are connecting and thinking, oh, now they may be inspired by source, but It's that co-creation that has stuff show up in our physical world. Source doesn't just snap its fingers and there we have a new chair. No, humans are involved. We're part of the package. So it takes two to tango here, guys. We are the space for it to show up. Okay, so the spirit of abundance. Now, a couple of things came up while I was doing all the downloads for this week. And one of them was the reminder for me. I have a belief that everything has a consciousness. Everything has a consciousness. A stone has a consciousness. A tree has a consciousness. Everything has a consciousness and a spirit. So my business has a spirit. Water has a spirit. Everything has a spirit. So when I asked about that, what I got was the spirit of abundance. Yes. Hello. I mean, I have regular conference meetings with the spirit of my business. So why would I not be in relationship with the spirit of abundance? That kind of came up this week. And it was a big like aha for me because I have not treated abundance very well. I haven't. And when I started to think about that, I was like, oh, like every time, it's like having a really good friend, and then every time you see them, you're kind of on guard. You're nervous or always kind of worrying that they're going to do something bad or they're not going to show up. But it's kind of like you invite a friend to come for dinner, and every time you invite them, they show up. But every time you invite them, you expect them to bail. Like, what kind of relationship is that? That doesn't sound very good to me. So I was like, yeah, that's kind of how I've been treating abundance. So, and not as a product or an experience or a amount of money, not like that kind of abundance, but abundance as an energy. So just like my business has a spirit, abundance has a spirit. It has an energy to it. And that's what I want to get in touch with. Now, the tools that we use around abundance are just that, tools. But we humans often merge them into one lump category. So we think that money is abundance. Money is a tool of abundance, but it's not abundance. Do you know what I mean? There's a distinction there. So money is a tool. Time is a tool of abundance. Inspiration is a tool. Support is a tool. Those are tools around abundance, but they're not the energy of abundance. And we forget that and kind of intermingle them. And then we treat abundance like it's a bad thing or it's harmed us in some way when money is scarce. You know what I mean? Okay. So what's blocking us isn't the lack of abundance, but it's the way that we relate to or the stories we have around the tools of abundance. And money, of course, being one of the main ones. So money is a tool. It's not actually abundance. It is paper and coins. And there are fantastic ways that it is an amazing tool. And actually, I just heard this recently from Michael Neal, this idea of money as a tool. And he was talking about how, it's a great way to exchange energy. It makes it really simple. We don't have to barter. I don't need a horse, but I do need eggs. I don't have a pig and you need a pig, but I do have, it's just too complicated. But money just makes it all really easy. And it's a very good tool as long as we treat it like a tool. Okay. So, and time is not, we can have an abundance of time, but time again is a tool. We use time. If we use it as a tool and have that relationship with it, then we can actually use it. It's a very good tool. We can set time. We can have things that are, I'm going to spend this much time doing this and that. I'm going to meet you at that time. Those are great ways to use it. But when you feel like time is slipping away, that's when you're out of relationship with time or out of relationship with that. Okay. The other thing that showed up really quite blatantly was the fact that we have all these, and especially when I started diving into money being a tool, time, inspiration, all those things, the tools of abundance, what came up was, oh my God, I have so many weird beliefs around those tools. And when I started asking myself, huge journaling question, this is so insightful, is this belief mine? Did I make this up, or did I inherit it from somebody else? And most of my current, even today at 58, current beliefs around money were inherited. And I can actually hear like the repetition from childhood, or I can hear somebody else's voice saying particular things about money. And I'm like, that's not even mine. I just believed what somebody else was selling. The other thing is that the next question to ask myself was, is it true? So that's a really good one too for a journaling prompt. It was very insightful. Is this, first of all, what is it that I think about money? What are the thoughts around money? Like, what do you say? Again, I've said this recently before. You can ask somebody, ask a good friend, like, okay, what are things that I say about money? I asked my daughter, was very insightful. Even things that I really tried not to pass on, and I totally did. So what are my beliefs? What are the stories I tell around money? What was the one thing, if I think back to my childhood, what was my family's belief about money? Whatever you want, something in that vein, or a journaling. Then, is it mine, or did I believe it from someone else? And then third is it true? That whole thing about like having to work hard for money, or if I do work hard, then I should get money. Like, that's a silly belief. Like, just because I work hard, then I should be owed money. And that belief alone throws people into a tailspin and sets off a whole victim thing because, well, I did what I was supposed to do and it didn't come true. Yeah, well, that's a belief. So, what are my beliefs? Where did they come from? Or you don't even need to know where, just that they're not yours. And then, is it true? Like, is it true? And if you can think of somebody who doesn't work very long hours or has a job that they love and doesn't feel like a job, like they don't feel like they're working, but makes really good money at it, there is your proof that it's possible that you don't have to work super hard and you could still be abundant, right? So that was really quite insightful. The whole like idea of my beliefs around abundance, money, time. Time was a big one too. The same concept. It's a tool of abundance. What are my thoughts around time? There's never enough. Sometimes there's too much, too much time, whatever it is. So that's also a very insightful journaling prompt. Okay, so this week, I want you to notice at least 2 things that you desire. Like we talked about at the beginning, desire is this like pull, like, oh, I really just like, this is a true desire. This is in line. I'm standing in love when I thought of it. It's in alignment with my higher self because it feels like a pull. It's not something that I believe from someone else and doesn't feel true for me. So, what are 2 things that I desire? Now, as always, we start with baby steps, not $1,000,000, because most of us have beliefs that are going to block that. And the baby steps are to let those beliefs kind of bubble to the surface so we can recognize them and get rid of them. Okay. So this week, pick 2 desires that you have chosen while you're in a state of love and they feel really good. Like, oh, yeah, that would be fantastic. Like, I would like, let's see, for me, I would like at least 2 new clients, but I really desire to, I'm not even sure. I'll leave a comment below. I'm going to think about that one. And then notice what pulls you to take the last step, which is inspired action. So once you know a couple of things that you really want to have transpire this week, you want to have them show up. We're going to put them from unseen to seen, which is manifesting. And then, that last step is inspired action, because we do live in a physical world. And in order to get things from unseen to seen, it takes action. That is the language of humanness, is action. But we're going to take inspired action, not like pushing boulders uphill action. We are not going to do action because we think we should, but we're going to take action because we're pulled to, and we almost can't not do it. Like, we just have to do it. We're feeling pulled and in line. And all of these action steps may not sound rational, but do it anyways. This is an experiment. This is a fun experiment. So next 2 weeks, 2 tops 3 desires. Every time you think of them, be in the vibration or energy of love. And if you're not, then don't think about it. Distract. Think about something else. When you come back to those, you're going to do inspired action. Ask your spirit team, hey guys, what have we got today to move me towards the experience of, or the creation of, or the allowance of that desire? And then follow what your intuition says. Now, if you need some more guidance around how to follow your intuition, we can do that. Leave it in a comment and I will get in touch with you and all that kind of good stuff. Now, because I bet that a whole bunch of us will have things show up when we follow that formula for creating from love. That's just how it works. That's how the universe works. That's how spirit works. And when we are in line and in partnership with spirit, anything is possible. When that starts to show up and your humanness recognizes it, it will stop playing the devil's advocate and will start helping you out, which is fabulous. Okay, so that is that for this evening. And I am going to do a little channeling here to see what Sam has to say about it, which is always like one of my favorite parts. I also want you to let you know that stay tuned, because I have a quiz coming out around to find out where you are on your spiritual journey. So there are 4 different signposts, I call them, and you'll be guided to answer a really easy quiz, kind of a fun one, and then find out where you are on the path so that you can get assistance or help in exactly the spot where you are. And there's going to be some great offers around discounts for readings or things that line up exactly from where you are now on your path. Okay, so let's invite Sam in. Yes, 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 yes. As we arrive into this one, we can guarantee that she does indeed feel this sense of a giggle, a mirth. Yes, yes, as if she is, oh, swallowing helium, we think, or champagne. Yes, champagne bubbles rising inside of her. This is what her body feels like as we come. Now, this is not like she leaves and we take over, but rather when she is in a similar vibration and she raises her vibration and we lower ours, we can meet in the middle. And this is where we meet. It is not that she disappears because we are all, yes, all made of the same stuff. Yes, we are all, whether we are as us, Sam, in an energetic form without complete substance or rigidity like your physical bodies in their denser vibration, but all of us, those of you in a body, those of ones in an energetic and a physicalness that is somewhere between, and us as a pure physical being, we are all made of the same stuff, the same energy. It is all, everything, your table and chairs and stones and ocean are all made of the same substance, the same energy. Each particular item or circumstance or situation or physical thing is vibrating at its own particular frequency or vibratory. Mm, yes. So it is interpreted, this vibrations, through the senses in your humanness. And that is how you see or hear or smell. It is not that there is a color of red, but rather there is a vibration that is interpreted through your brain to tell you that that is the color of red. Yes. So everything has this vibration. And when you match something that is at a similar vibration, it is very easy for you to connect. It is much like, well, we can say for this one, the dust bunnies or the hair that falls out of her head all seems to gather in one corner of the bedroom or bathroom or hallway because they are of like nature, they are of like vibration, and so they magnetize to each other into one corner. Everything is like that. Everything. For you do not meet people that you are not in a vibratory match to. You will go down the street and there are hundreds of people, perhaps in this one neighborhood, thousands for some neighborhoods, and yet you run into the ones that match you that day. Now, you may meet for the first time a neighbor that you have lived beside for 5 years, but you have never been a vibratory match to them before. But suddenly, as you are listening to this thing and more, raising your vibration, suddenly you meet in the hallway twice in 1 week. Well, that is because you are suddenly a vibratory match. And suddenly you no longer notice the person that has been lurking in the doorway when it rains, or the one down the street that always seems to be grumpy. Well, suddenly, as you raise your vibration, the grumpy neighbor disappears, and the one who is, oh, loving and perhaps in the same vein of experiences or interests as you now, suddenly they show up. They did not disappear and they did not come from nowhere. You are just a vibratory match, just like dust bunnies gathering in the corners. So, this is the idea, concept, paradigm of creating from love. For it is not as if when you are connected to fear that you stop creating. That is not true. You continue to create. As this one said, every moment and every moment and every moment, you are always creating. You are always allowing the vibratory matches to come to you. So, yes, it is less of creating and more of finding each other. It is more of a coming together, a more of an allowing, even perhaps would be a better word. For you are not creating out of nothing. You are simply being the conduit for the energy to come through you in the form of an idea that will manifest into a experience perhaps, but you are not the ones molding the clay to say, but rather you are experiencing the idea that is coming from all that is, and having it transform into the physicalness of your world. So we would invite you to notice that if you are going to be, well, creating or allowing in every moment, you might as well be doing what you want. You might as well be the attractor and gathering in corners with things that you like, that you enjoy, that bring you joy, that bring you, oh, yes, allow your expression of contribution, of love, of togetherness, of creation. Yes, you might as well be creating and enjoying the whole process rather than, oh, being in fear and disalignment and, well, creating things that do not bring you joy, but rather frustration or more fear, anger or overwhelm, or whatever it is that you are feeling in that moment. So if you are going to do it, well, then you might as well have fun at it. And that is what the invitation is now. To notice that you are in the energy of creation in every moment, and that you have a choice of where you are allowing from. What frequency are you tuning into? The ideas from love are fun. The ideas from fear are fearful. Choose wisely, our dear humans, as you move forward on this amazing journey of allowing, of connecting, of aligning with love. We wish you oh so much fun this week, and we love you oh so much. It's so funny. I could see like this hallway with um excuse me, like with neighbors, and how they always ran into one neighbor, and then all of a sudden you never ran into them, but this week you ran into the one down the hall like 3 times. Yeah. Okay. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And of course, if somebody you know would love to have this information, be sure to share the video. Um, and just let me know if there's anything that you want to ask Sam, because I will be posting videos on Wednesdays as well from our where we have questions with Sam. So it's just channeling. We have questions. I channel for the whole video, and they're always really insightful and kind of amazing. And I am happy to put your questions in. Okay, so let me just check the comments here. Oh, because I had my notes up ahead of them. Oh, yeah, money is sinful. Isn't that crazy? What a thought. The other one, money is dirty, hard to get. Oh, and a conversation around deserving. Yeah, it's somehow we think that if we don't work hard, we don't deserve money. That's crazy, eh? Manifesting has been on again and off again, usually on when asking for something for free and almost free, and asking out loud and often getting clear and expected success. That's awesome. You see, and the more often that it actually occurs, then we're shifting our belief. We're like, oh no, this all like this. I never have a problem with money. My daughter has that belief. It's amazing. She's like, well, no, it's always gonna like, sometimes she works really hard, which I would love for her to shift somehow that belief. But she has the absolute confidence that she will always have money. That's not an issue. Like that's just never going to be an issue. I love it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon. Mwah.